Okay, let's unpack this. There's been some pretty big news lately about the piano man, Billy Joel.
Yeah, big news. And it's more than just shifting a few concert dates around this time.
Exactly. It's a full stop, isn't it? Affecting his whole upcoming tour schedule.
It is. And what the sources we've looked at show is that this is really rooted in a specific health issue. It's not just a minor thing.
Right. So our mission here in this deep dive is to take these sources, the articles, the briefings you shared, and really dig into them. We want to sort of cut through everything else and get right to the core of why this is happening. So you listening can be, genuinely informed.
Yeah, get the straight story.
And it's interesting, isn't it, how news about someone so iconic, so beloved, can actually tell us a lot about, well, health and the demands of performing.
Definitely. And the sources, they provide that crucial bit, the reason for the cancellation, moving beyond just vague statements to something specific.
Okay, so let's lay it out. The material confirms he's canceling all the upcoming shows.
That's right, all of them. We're talking New York, New Orleans, Toronto, Santa Clara, Salt Lake.
DC, Liverpool, the whole slate.
The whole thing. A complete halt to the current tour plans.
And the core reason the sources point to.
It's a recent diagnosis, normal pressure hydrocephalus, NPH for short.
NPH. Okay, so what do the sources tell us about that? What is it?
Well, they describe it as a buildup of too much cerebrospinal fluid. The fluid that surrounds your brain and spinal cord.
Right, CSF, it cushions everything.
Exactly. And it circulates in these spaces called ventricles deep in the brain. With NPH, that fluid doesn't drain like it should, so it builds up.
Got it. And why is that buildup such a problem, especially for a performer like Billy Joel?
This is where it gets really critical based on the sources. They state very clearly that NPH hits functions vital for being on stage, specifically hearing, vision, and balance.
Wow. Hearing, vision, and balance. Those are, well, fundamental for performing live.
Absolutely fundamental. And there's more. The sources also say that the condition was actually made worse by his recent concerts.
Made worse, so performing itself.
Yeah, the physical demands, being up there night after night, seems to have aggravated the NPH, worsening those issues with hearing, vision, and balance.
That's pretty intense. His actual job was making the underlying problem worse. It just highlights the physical toll, doesn't it? Even for someone with his incredible career.
I mean, the sources remind us 5 Grammys, 150 million records, halls of fame, that huge MSG residency he just finished.
Incredible achievements. So, hey, he has this diagnosis. Performing makes it worse. What's the plan now, according to the sources?
The material says he's undergoing physical therapy, specific therapy prescribed by his doctors.
Okay.
And the key instruction, the direct reason for canceling everything, is that he's been advised to refrain from performing during this recovery period.
Refrain from performing. So it's a medical necessity, not just let's see how it goes.
Exactly. It's a clear directive to stop for recovery.
And the sources also kind of map out how we got here, right? There's a bit of a timeline.
Yeah, they do. It helps put it in context. If you look back, there was that fall on stage in February 2025 in Connecticut.
Oh, right. I remember reading about that. He finished the show, though.
He did, but the sources sort of hint this might have been an early sign, or at least related.
Okay. And then what happened?
Then came March. That's when he first announced postponements, just through June initially.
Right. Citing a medical condition needing PT back then, too?
Correct. And at that point, the sources said his team expected to make a full recovery. They even gave a date to aim for, July 5th, 2025.
Ah, okay. And this is where the story shifts, based on the sources.
Big shift.
Yeah.
Because that March statement sounded pretty optimistic, right? Full recovery, a return date.
Yeah, like a temporary pause.
But the announcement now, in May, is a full cancellation of all shows. No return date mentioned. And it's tied specifically to the NPH diagnosis and that explicit medical advice to stop performing because it makes things worse.
So that changed from expecting a July 5th return in March to canceling everything in May because performing is harmful. That really seems like a key piece of information from the sources.
Absolutely. It points to maybe a more serious reality setting in, or perhaps a better understanding of the condition once diagnosed properly. The initial hope might have been, well, just too optimistic.
Or based on incomplete info at the time, it really shows how things evolved.
Definitely. An evolving situation.
And what about the fans? People holding tickets for all these canceled shows? The sources cover that.
Yes, and thankfully it sounds straightforward. The sources are clear.
Yeah.
Fans don't need to do anything.
Okay.
Refunds will be processed automatically, going back to whatever payment method they originally used.
That's good. Simple for them.
Yeah. And the source is, quote, Billy Joel apologizing, thanking fans for understanding, which you'd expect.
Sure. Okay, so let's just pull the main threads together from this deep dive. What are the absolute must-knows from the sources?
Okay, key point 1. Billy Joel has canceled all upcoming tour dates. Full stop.
Right. And the reason,
A diagnosis of normal pressure hydrocephalus, NPH.
which affects his hearing, vision, and balance, crucial for performing.
Crucial. And importantly, performing was making the condition worse, aggravating it.
So now he's undergoing physical therapy and has been medically advised to stop performing during recovery.
Correct. We also saw that timeline unfold the February fall, the March postponement that still hoped for a July return.
Leading to the full May cancellation once the NPH and its connection to performing became clear.
Exactly. And finally, for ticket holders, automatic refunds are on the way.
Got it. You know, looking at situations like this, it really does give you a glimpse into the pressures and realities these performers face, doesn't it?
It really does. Even someone as successful and long-lasting as Billy Joel, it highlights the physical toll, and that ultimately health has to come first, even with all those documented achievements behind him.
Absolutely. And thinking about that shift we saw in the sources, that initial hope in March for a full recovery and a specific July return date, contrasted with the May reality, a full stop, because performing is detrimental and he must refrain to recover. What does that stark change tell us? Maybe about how unpredictable these conditions can be.
Yeah, or perhaps just the incredibly difficult choice involved when you have to put health definitively ahead of your public performing life, especially after suggesting a quicker comeback was possible.
Right. What does it really mean when health demands you step away, even when you're a legend and maybe hoped you wouldn't have to? That's definitely something to think about.